Some people, they just love to stretch, right? So in my view, stretching is good, but I think a lot of people, they do it too much, right? So if it's the morning time, I think that's a great time to stretch. That's when a lot of us feel stiff. So like here's an example of some of the simple stretches that I'll do to try to open up my hips and my back and whatnot as I get started. So some of it's modified yoga or whatever. It's like yoga didn't necessarily come up with all these stretches. No one has a patent on movement. Let's just say that. So we'll just go into downward dog, right? So this is something you'll see a baby do. So once you're up here, just start to move your heels back and forth into the ground just to get the calves to open up a bit. Stretch the back of the knees so you're bending and straightening the knees. Right. So if you wanted to, you could do a nice lift, right? Once or twice, right? Then you give that a break. And then you go into some simple cat-cow kind of stuff. Work with the breath, right? So as I come here, maybe I'll exhale as I go this direction a few times. Exhale, or I'll do the opposite. I'll inhale, right? Kind of pull my back wide as I do it. So from here, if I wanted to, I could go into some spinal twists, right? Just go back and forth a few times, right? But the next spot to go into would be nice to just do something like this, right? So you're arching your back. Get some yoga blocks if your arms aren't long enough, right? So you do this. It's nice to go back and forth a little bit, right? To get that hip joint and the buttock loosened up on the opposite side. You're stretching the hip flexor muscle, right? Your psoas, right? So you're getting a nice stretch through here, right? So from here, you could go right into, modified pigeon pose, and again, do some of that back and forth sort of thing. And then, right, we could go more into a 90-90 position where you come forward, get a little stronger stretch through the hip capsule, right? So if I'm here going towards the camera, right, so I'm like this here. So I could get a twist into this by bringing my elbow towards the inside of the knee, and then I get my rotator cuff to stretch a little bit as well, right? So it looks like this. Good. Right, you could further open up the groin a little bit just by doing a frog stretch here. Keep the back flat as you go into it, and just go easy, right? So you kind of think of using your hips to pull your butt towards your feet, right? Just nice and easy. Okay, and if you had a strap handy or something like this, right, you could go into some variation of hamstring stretch, right? You could do your hamstring stretches sitting. You can do them lying down. You could do them standing, right? There's lots of different ways to get at it, right? So if you're really tight, this would probably be the easiest way to do it, like this, right? You could have the knees straight, right? Get a little more behind the knee, or you could have the knees slightly bent, right? To get more into the muscle belly. Right, so if I pull a little to the side, right, I'll get some of the outside of my leg and my hip, right? If I go to the inside, right, you get the inside of the leg, right? So that's a good basic stretching routine that you could do within 5 or 6 minutes.